Close your eyes for a second and think of the one living soul who loved you when you didn't feel lovable. Maybe it was a dog who waited at the door like you were the best part of the day. Maybe it was a cat who chose your lap on the hardest nights. Maybe it was an animal you rescued, and somehow you were the one rescued. Animals don't speak our language, but they understand our truth. They read our shoulders when they're heavy. They notice the quiet sigh we try to hide. They stay close when the world feels loud. From the time we're children, animals are our first teachers. They teach responsibility in the simplest way. If you forget me, I suffer. They teach patience. I'll learn, but not on your schedule. They teach gentleness. Your hands can comfort, or they can harm. And they teach love in its purest form. Not love that's earned, not love that's negotiated. Love that's simply given. To an animal, you are not your mistakes. You're not your bad day. You're not your past. You're home. That's why coming back matters. That's why the sound of your footsteps is a celebration. That's why a tail can wag like a heartbeat with legs. That's why a purr can feel like the world forgiving you. People talk about unconditional love like it's an idea. But if you've ever been greeted by a pet after a long day, you know it's real. And it's healing. Because life can be heavy. Some days we carry grief like a stone in our chest. Some days anxiety keeps our minds running in circles. Some days loneliness sits in the room like a second shadow. In those moments, animals don't try to fix us. They don't demand an explanation. They don't say, "Cheer up." They just stay. A dog rests their head on your knee as if to say, "I'm here. You're safe. Breathe." A cat curls beside you, warm and steady, like a small promise that the night will pass. That presence matters more than we admit. It slows the heart. It softens the mind. It reminds us that we are still connected to something good. And animals teach us how to live in the present. They don't punish themselves for yesterday. They don't borrow fear from tomorrow. They find joy in what's right in front of them. Sunlight on the floor, fresh air on a walk, a hand that scratches just the right spot. They show us that happiness isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's a shared silence that feels like peace. But loving an animal isn't just the beautiful moments. It's a commitment. It's choosing them when it's inconvenient. It's cleaning up messes. It's spending money you didn't plan to spend. It's waking up early, even when you're tired. It's learning their fears, their needs, their language. Real love shows up when they grow old, when their steps slow down, when the stairs become a mountain, when the playful eyes turn cloudy, when the vet visits become more frequent than the adventures. In those seasons, your animal is still the same soul who once ran to you like joy itself. They still love you with everything they have. And they are asking, quietly, for one thing. Please don't leave me now. Because they never left you. And that's why abandonment hurts so deeply. Every year, countless animals are discarded like they were temporary. Left at shelters, tied to fences, dropped on roads, thrown into a world they don't understand. They don't know what they did wrong. They don't understand busy or moving or not allowed. They only understand loss. Yet many of them still hope. They still look up when footsteps pass. They still lean toward a gentle voice. They still believe that a human hand might mean safety again. If you've ever adopted an animal, you know this truth. The moment they realize they belong, something changes in their eyes. Fear makes room for trust, and trust makes room for love. Adoption isn't just saving an animal. It's rewriting a life story. It's turning survival into home. And often, it rescues the person too. Because animals give us structure when we feel scattered. They give us purpose when we feel empty. They pull us outside when we want to disappear. They make us laugh when we forgot we could. They also make us better humans. They teach empathy, because you learn to care for someone who cannot speak for themselves. They teach restraint, because your mood should never become their punishment. They teach compassion, because their vulnerability asks something noble from you. And then, one day, we face the hardest lesson. Their time is shorter than ours. There may come a morning when the house feels quieter. No nails on the floor, no soft breathing nearby, no familiar eyes watching you like you're everything. That grief is real, because you didn't just lose a pet. You lost a friend, a routine, a comfort, a witness to your life. But love doesn't vanish. It stays, inside your memories, inside your habits, inside the way your heart softens when you see another animal in need. So if you have an animal with you today, don't wait. Tell them with your actions. Hold them a little longer. Take the slower walk. Sit on the floor and meet them at their level. Let your voice be gentle. Let your presence be steady. And if you don't have one right now, be kind to the ones you see. Support shelters. Choose compassion. Never look away from suffering and call it not your problem. Because the way we treat animals says something honest about who we are. Animals don't need words to change our lives. They change us through loyalty, through patience, through quiet courage, through love without conditions. So here's the truth. In a world that can feel cold, animals keep something warm alive inside us. They remind us that love can be simple, that connection can be pure, that kindness still matters. And if we listen closely, they teach us how to become the kind of humans that their hearts always believed we could be.